All right, folks, welcome to another episode of the Savage Patriots. We are about to do and say some things that are going to be more than likely hated. But you know what we got to do? We got to keep it 100. We got to keep it 100. So stay tuned because it's going
Has
to
to.
get spicy. All right. Everyone on Facebook can now see us. There we go.
Spicy
Okay.
Micey.
That's
Okay.
dangerous.
Now, we're gonna break this down a little weird, okay? Um, I had told you guys that I had remembered having a certain video file
Hmm.
saved, and I wasn't sure whether or not I could find it, and I did find it. And this was back in 2019, late 2019, I think. Yeah, in early 2020 that this video dropped, and it dropped around the same time that a Chinese group dropped also the Hunter laptop details and everything like that. Well, I found a recording, and it's of this Ukrainian oligarch who is blowing the whistle on all of the dealings of Joe Biden in
Mm.
Ukraine. Now, I remember specifically posting this on Facebook back in the day, and it didn't last a day. It got taken down for false information. It got flagged.
Of
And I
course.
remember trying to do a show about it myself on YouTube. Never flew because it didn't get allowed to be played. Um,
Mm.
All right.
so, so with news now about Joe's bribery schemes, I think it's only fair. It's only fair that we allow people to see what was on that video. Um,
Yes.
and it's a little long. It's about 13 minutes, but and it's closed captions. And I'm sorry, but you have to read. Um, but he's pretty concise and clear. So I'm gonna pray that my Obama phone and that's on my computer today doesn't act the way it's supposed to. It normally does.
And
All right.
and and YouTube, this is for educational purposes only. So
Yes, and
Yes.
it's truth.
and fair use. And fair use.
And get those screen recordings ready just in
Yes, if you
case.
have to, if you
Just
must.
in
Yeah.
case.
If it does not work to where the video can play properly, I would have to try and find a way to upload it to YouTube and get it to these guys so they can play it on their end. But we will play it. There's a way. I just have to be diligent enough to figure it out. All right. So here we go. Get ready. Get ready to read.
Что сегодня будет обнародовано? Первое. Доказательства вывода через финансовые ямы миллионов долларов, украденных у украинского народа, отмытых с помощью банков и моек в различных юрисдикциях и последующими перечислениями их на счета компании семьи Байдена. Новые записи разговоров пятого президента Украины Петра Порошенко и экс-вице-президента США Джо Байдена, свидетельствующие о внешнем управлении. Также мы обнародуем колоссальные коррупционные оборудки на закупках угля и газа, из-за которых украинцы платят на треть выше коммунальные тарифы. В этих оборудках участвовали на тот момент высшие должностные лица Украины и США. Нами будут обнародованы и факты освоения сотен тысяч долларов материально-технической помощи, направленных Украине государством США, а также свидетельства развала структуры Генеральной прокуратуры, а ныне Офиса Генерального прокурора Украины. Еще раз повторяюсь, каждое слово, которое будет сегодня нами озвучено, подкреплено документами, цифрами и записями, которые нам передали журналисты-расследователи, а также люди, владеющие информацией о коррупционных схемах и свидетели, непосредственно находящиеся в ряде процессов, и о чем мы сегодня и расскажем. Все имеющиеся в нашем распоряжении факты международной коррупции и внешнего управления Украиной мы передадим в правоохранительные органы Украины.
Now, real quick, they transferred all this info to not just Ukrainian government, United States government. They had it
Mhm.
in hand before 2020. So when they tell you they didn't, they're lying. When they tell you they didn't know, they're lying. And they lie to you by removing the information long before 2020's end result took place. It was intentional. They knew what they were doing, and they were protecting Joe Biden. He's always been corrupt. And he will not stop being corrupt. He's a POS, and his family is too. All of them, even the dead ones. I'm going to say it out loud.
Yep.
Here you go.
Сегодня мы представим вашему вниманию только часть свидетельских показаний, подчеркиваю, часть свидетельских показаний. Хочу вас уверить, что у нас есть и другие свидетели, подтверждающие факты международной коррупции, в том числе из граждан иностранных государств. Итак, первая часть нашей пресс-конференции. Доказательства выдачи через финансовые ямы миллионов долларов, украденных у украинского народа, с последующим перечислением их на счета компании семьи Байденов. На одной из первых пресс-конференций около года назад мы показали банковские проводки на сотни тысяч долларов на семью экс-вице-президента США Джо Байдена, а именно на его сына Роберта Хантера Байдена, который входил в состав директоров скандально известной газодобывающей компании «Буризма». «Буризма» принадлежит беглому министру времен Януковича Николаю Злочевскому. Наличие Байдена в руководстве «Буризмы» и оплата его услуг – ничто иное, как политическая крыша, которая защищала Злочевского от украинского закона, а именно от Уголовного кодекса. После ряда пресс-конференций к нашей группе расследователей, а именно к старшему прокурору, группы прокуроров Генеральной прокуратуры по расследованию экономических преступлений режима Януковича в 2016-2019 годах Константину Кулику обратилось два иностранных гражданина, непосредственно занимавшихся отмыванием украденных Злочевским у украинцев миллионов долларов с последующим выводом этих миллионов на счета фирмы «Буризма», а также с последующим выводом на счета фирмы Байдена. Так как эти иностранные граждане находятся в процессе получения предоставляемого Украиной официального статуса «разоблачитель коррупции», в целях их
Even back then, they were worried
личной безопасности,
about the personal safety of the whistleblower. Now,
Right.
proven or unproven, the FBI and the CIA have confirmed that they don't want to do anything because of what? The whistleblower's life. And
Right.
now we hear that perhaps one of the main whistleblowers is now dead.
And they were just talking about this on the news today, that they haven't talked to this particular person in 3 years. So this is probably who they're referring to
Yes.
from this video.
So he's going to get into now. Remember, he had the same thing that Grassley had, which is the documents proving that Joe Biden did indeed collect money from the Ukrainian government. We've heard the audio of him talking to the main oligarch of Burisma. We've seen photos of Joe Biden golfing with Hunter and those same oligarchs. There is myriads of proof out there that Joe Biden knew everything his son was doing, got him the position because of the deals he was making through Obama's presidency in order to line his pockets. This is not hearsay. It's all bearable facts. Okay, I don't care what anybody tells you about this. Oh, it's all here. No, it's provable. Unlike the crap about, I don't know, what's that other guy? Donald something. What's his name? Donald.
The Don.
Donald Trump.
TJ
I think was
Trump.
his name. Yeah,
The
I think it was
Don.
his last name. Some insignificant guy that they keep trumping up stuff on. So there's some
It's a local
tangible
issue.
proof out
I
there.
see what you did there.
Yeah, it's all trumped up.
а также исходя из тайны следствия, назовем их условным именем свидетель 1 и свидетель 2. Подробнее об этом расскажет Константин Кулик, старший группы прокуроров ГПУ по расследованию экономических преступлений режима Януковича в 2016-2019 годах. Константин Геннадьевич, вам слово. Сейчас же мы обнародуем новые записи разговоров Порошенко и Байдена. Сразу отмечу, Джо Байден столкнулся с угрозой потерять стабильный доход от Злочевского, а по сути от украинских граждан, когда Генеральная прокуратура во главе с Виктором Шокиным начала уголовное производство по буризме и воровству денег украинцев. К Байдену подобрались настолько плотно, что он ради сохранения абонплаты от Злочевского пообещал Порошенко 1 миллиард кредитных гарантий. Еще раз. Байден ради собственной прибыли распорядился чужим миллиардом, который Порошенко с радостью принял и освоил на своих предприятиях Богдан и Ленинская кузня, а взамен уволил Шокина. Вторая угроза для Байдена возникла после президентских выборов в США и его ухода с поста вице-президента. Они созванивались регулярно с Порошенко уже после президентских выборов в 2016 году. Байдену было важно удостовериться, что в отношениях ничего не изменилось, а Порошенко важно было отчитаться о внешней политике Украины и отношениях с новым президентом США Дональдом Трампом. Давайте послушаем запись.
Introducing President Poroshenko.
Hey, Petro, Joe, how are you?
Very well indeed. As usual, when I hear your voice, my dear friend. And if President can also support us, not only with the Minsk, but with the visa-free, that would be something when we are trying to sell to the Ukrainian people. And I'm still hoping that you can come maybe on the 21st of November on our anniversary of Revolution of Dignity, and that would be a very big delivery.
With regard to my coming on the 21st, as I told you, I could never come on the 21st. I was going to try to come immediately after in early December. But here's where I am now, and part of my answer to that it depends on what was your conversation with our president-elect. One of the things I've been doing is spending. They are not. I'm not being critical, but the incoming administration has been very, very slow on getting ready for transition. Quite frankly, like most of America, they didn't think they were going to win the election, so they did not have a fulsome transition team. Matter of fact, as of a couple days ago, they changed their transition team. Transition is a very, very delicate and precise dance that goes on from administration to administration over the last 100 years. And it requires the exchange of classified information and the like. And the people they put forward to be part of the transition have to be cleared to do that, just as we had to be cleared after the Bush administration, et cetera. They have not done that. They're trying to catch up and do it now since they fired the guy who headed up the transition just last week. The reason I bother to tell you that is I have been somewhat limited on what I'm able to tell their team about Ukraine. The truth of the matter is the incoming administration doesn't know a great deal about the situation. So I'm meeting with the vice president-elect, who's the only one that has any foreign policy experience.
You play an enormous, you play now the role in the bringing peace to my country and save my country. This is my real feeling. And
well, you're awfully generous. I don't plan on going away. I mean, as a private citizen, I plan on staying deeply engaged in the endeavor that you have begun and we have begun.
Yeah.
Not his role.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's
Not
a
his
couple things
role.
that stood out to me. One of them being that did he ever talk to Pence about the situation? That's surprising to
did.
me
That
because
was
if
the
you
thing.
listen,
Never did.
yeah, because like if that's the case, if they did talk, then Vice Pence has been on this since the beginning.
Get go. It'll
Yeah,
explain
so, like-
everything.
And if he was, we always knew that Pence was.
Establishment.
he
He's a
was-
shill, like everybody.
Yeah, we knew he was. We knew he was part of the system. He was picked for Trump. We talked about this, how a lot of his administration was picked by the establishment, Pence being one of them.
Mm.
And if Pence did talk to him, like Coy said, Pence knew the whole time. And this is why
Yeah.
Pence did what he did when it came to the recount.
Mhm.
It all makes
He's
sense.
been
now.
on the establishment side the entire time.
It makes sense.
I would
So
also venture
that
to
concerns
say,
me.
Yeah, that does. But I would also venture to say that when talking about corruption and being corrupt, Biden is very eloquent
Mm-hmm.
when he's
Well,
when,
used
he's, when
to
he's
be.
addressing the. Well, No, but I mean, even here now, like this is probably the
He's still
height of
pretty clear.
yeah, he's pretty clear about his corruption and just. But when he's
Mhm.
addressing the American people and doing stately matters, it's like he's retarded.
He is. But
here, like-
which Biden was that on the other side of the phone?
The one with earlobes. The one with earlobes.
That's true.
That was a real Biden. Now, the Biden that they put in front of us, all that's for show, man. They're doing that on purpose. And Marlon and I mentioned it. They're doing that on purpose to make him seem like he's unfit. The dumber he looks in front of the American people, the more the establishment's going to pull him out and put who in office?
The black girl.
The other dummy.
That is if they win in 24. So
Killer Kamala.
The dark one.
Don't she look like a
That's
brush?
my objective. That's my objective. But if I go beforehand, I'm worried since they don't know enough, they will think I'm trying to game them. They will think I am trying to put them in a corner. They will question my motive in going before they are fully briefed. And I'm sure you understand that. You're a good negotiator. That's at least that's my thinking at the time, and I've seen nothing to make me question my judgment about this being the right approach.
Как там сказал Петр Алексеевич, продать украинскому народу в годовщину революции с добудки. Циничные тексты циничных людей. Продавал надежду, все остальное в стране грабили. Как видим, Байден уверяет Порошенко, никто никуда не уходит. Наоборот, Байден заверяет Порошенко, что влиял на переходную администрацию президента Трампа. Нам было бы все равно, если бы это не касалось создания и крышевания коррупционных схем вместо борьбы с коррупцией. Реально.
Introducing President Poroshenko.
Hey, Petro, Joe, how are you?
Very well indeed. As usual, when I hear your voice, my dear friend.
Tell me about your conversation, if you can, with Trump.
Now, understand this. That's not for him to know.
That's right.
He
He's a
is
civilian.
no longer allowed to be involved in those kinds of conversations. Not his job. But for some reason, he's doing it. Now, this conversation happened in November. But any conversation he has with Trump after that point, any conversation that Poroshenko would have had with Trump, Biden should not be privy to.
That's right. That's right.
But here's the conversation none the least. All right.
I told him quite a big number of positive things which President Obama and current administration do.
So I lied.
All right, man. Well, look.
But frankly speaking, I expected much colder conversation, and it was quite sincere and quite warm.
Good. Look, this guy, there's an expression in English. You know how dogs always chase buses or cars down the road? A bad dog will chase a car down the road.
Yeah.
Well, there's an expression in English. He caught the car, and he's a dog who caught the car. He didn't know what the hell to do. He doesn't know what the car's made of or what's in it. So we have a real chance here of making him a hero.
Действительно, называть президента своей страны собакой, бегущей за машиной, а второму подхихикивать – это признак настоящих государственных мужей с высокой культурой государственности. Удостоверившись, что все в порядке, Байден и Порошенко признаются в ментальной любви друг к другу, присваивают друг другу звания и восхищаются друг другом. Давайте послушаем.
Introducing President Poroshenko.
Hey, Petro, Joe, how are you?
Very well indeed. As usual, when I hear your voice, my dear friend.
So, but you become a good friend, and we understand each other. And like I said, even after I'm out of this job, I'm committed to the independence of a new and non-corrupt nation state that, God willing, kids are going to be singing songs about you 30 years from now.
Cap.
Joe, thank you very much indeed. And
You think I'm not kidding. Think about this. You're the first one who has a chance to actually set up a corrupt-free, democratic nation of Ukraine. Jesus, what a hell, man. I'm going to go down as a great vice president. I'm not going down as a founder of a country, man. The father of a country. So I'll trade places with you, okay? I'd like my grandkids to read about me in the history books. Yours are going to read about
Oh, they're
me.
going to read about you.
Oh, yeah.
Very proud to hear that. If you allow, I transfer these words to my wife. She should also be the same proud of me like you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, Petro. Thank you.
Introducing President Poroshenko.
Oh, Joe Biden here.
Dear Joe, that's a real great pleasure to hear you again.
Petro, I miss talking to you every week. How are you, my friend?
Very
I
well
really-
indeed.
Real question. When does the transfer of power happen?
January?
January.
Yeah.
Was it January? Because I'm confused. Is
Mhm.
it January?
Yeah, it's January.
No, that's
Are you
February.
guys sure it's not February, like February 32nd or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
It might be February
Interesting.
41st. I can't remember which
I don't
one it
know.
is.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Does that say February right there?
It does.
We,
It does.
yeah, that says
So
February
he's not vice president anymore, is he?
in 2017. Yeah, no, he's
Huh.
No.
he's Granddaddy Joe right there.
He's a civilian at that point.
Yeah,
Yep.
Former Vice
Mr.
President Joe Biden.
Mr. Joe.
Is he still calling a international figurehead to discuss national security?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Policy
Ooh.
with a foreign dignitary. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
Hey, you know it happens. right?
Representing the United
Does it?
States. Yeah.
Doesn't it happen though? I thought it happens.
Huh.
Damn.
No.
You mean
That's what they try to get Flynn on.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're telling me that as a civilian, I can call up, I don't know, Tony
I'ma call
Blair,
Putin.
or I can call
I'm
Putin.
gonna call Putin and say, "What's up, dog?"
Is that what bruh? Is that what's going on right now? Is that the
Yeah.
precedence that's been set for me and all of
Yeah.
us?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe he's
Alright.
just gonna say, "How you doing? I want to play golf, catch up, shoot the breeze, eat some chicken." I don't know. Maybe that's what he's gonna talk
He's
about. Let's
asking
find
for
out.
some Ukrainian recipes for
Yeah,
his
let's
wife's
find out.
cookbook. Yeah.
All the time when I meet with my team, I mention you, your phrase about father founder of the nation.
Yeah,
You should know that you are very famous and very popular.
words. Those children of yours who may go to Penn for a year, their children are going to know, and that generation is going to know who finally gave Ukrainian people an opportunity to be firmly ensconced in the West as a progressive democracy. That's
true.
Why would you want to be a progressive democracy?
Scary words.
Yeah. Progressive democracy.
Yeah.
Mm.
You see
I'm
people. You
surprised Biden
see,
knew.
you see why we can't stand the mainstream media.
Yeah.
Now, do we get our information? Of course, we get our information, but we cross-reference it and we look at many different outlets. But you see how the mainstream media gets up there and lies, bold-faced lie to our face, saying it never happened. There's no tapes.
And
There's
here's the
nothing.
crazy part. The thing is that there's a difference between lying by commission and lying by omission. And the mainstream media, we all have been aware of since however long that the mainstream media lies by omission. They don't tell you what it is that you should know. They just not tell you anything and think that they're telling you the truth. But that's their end game.
No, they always do that.
I want to read this, and then Michael might recognize this. All right, this is 2030. This is not 2021. This is Agenda 2030.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
And I can read it because Wikipedia has it, so just be careful. This is education only. In fact, this is not my statement. This is from their own website. Okay, it's known. This is not conspiracy theory. YouTube. This is what they're saying. I'm only reading their hey, theirs, not mine. We are announcing today 17 sustainable development goals with 169 associated targets, which are integrated and indivisible. Never before has the world leaders pledged common action and endeavors across the board and universal policy agenda. We are setting out together on a path towards sustainable development, devoting ourselves collectively to the pursuit of global development and of win-win cooperation, which will bring huge gain to all countries in all parts of the world. We reaffirm that every state has and shall freely exercise full permanent sovereignty over its wealth. Right. You'll see how that comes contradictory later. Natural resources and economic activity. We will implement the agenda of the full benefit for all for today's generation and future generation. In doing so, we reaffirm the commitment of the international law and emphasize that the agenda is to be implemented in a manner that is consistent with the rights and obligations of states under international law. Here's the best part. We reaffirm the importance of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As well as our other international instruments relating to human rights and international law, we emphasize the responsibility of all states in conformity. You see that word? Conformity
word.
there?
I don't
That instantaneously negates sovereignty. I hope you all realize that. If you have the word conformity here, it negates that right there.
I don't conform.
Okay, just so you know. With the Charter of the United Nations, if I'm conforming to the United Nations Charter, I don't have sovereignty.
That's right.
Yep.
To respect and protect and promote human rights and fundamental freedoms for all without distinction in any kind of race, color, sex, language, religion, political, or other opinion, national or social origin, birth, disability, or other status.
They don't really mean any of that.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Realizing gender equality and empowerment of women and girls will make crucial contribution to progress across all the goals and targets. The achievement of the full human potential and sustainable development is not possible if one half of humanity continues to be denied its full human rights and opportunities. The reason I read that is because they have to have someone like Biden, and this is going back to why they hid all the information. They hid all the information to make sure that Biden got in because of what you saw happen at the White House during Pride Month. If you weren't aware of what happened at the White House during Pride Month and you didn't hear what he said during Pride Month, you might want to go back and listen.
Are we talking about how the trans thing?
Yes.
Well, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not just that, the push with all the feminism business, it's part of 2030. It goes back to why they had to hide everything, because while he's talking about all the progressive that they're doing, he's doing the complete opposite in the background. You have to have someone who is globally minded, which is Joe Biden, and you have to have someone else who's also globally minded, which is Miss Harris, and you have to coordinate it with people who are also globally minded, Pence and Poroshenko. And in order to do that, you have to stay involved. When did he stay involved? Since the end of his vice presidency all the way to now. He has already been and had already been chosen to run. He already been chosen. Okay,
Yep.
Since the loss of Hillary, he already was chosen because he had all the goods to push Agenda 2030 through.
That's right.
And
and how you know he was chosen? If everybody remembers that campaign run between him and Trump during the primaries, when it first started, Biden was nowhere to be found.
Right.
He was in the basement.
Biden just comes out of nowhere and jumps on a debate stage, and here he is just taking people out because he was picked. He was picked. There's no way he should have won that.
Picked like a nose.
Okay, so this is back to what you're saying about like the feminism thing. It's like, no, they're even getting rid of feminism. Look, it's like non-man attracted to non-men. That's how they describe lesbians now.
Yeah, I remember that. Hilarious.
Yeah. That is the new definition of lesbian, is a non-man attracted to a non-man. You can't make this stupid things up.
Okay, so a non-man, that is a lesbian, not attracted to a non-man.
Non-men, yeah. So like even in their own policies, they can't get on board with anything. So like they're talking about like, oh, we're going to do it for feminism, and it's like, no, they're erasing women because they're we now. Oh, and it's not only that, is they're coming up with fake embryos. So we'll just get rid of women entirely. It's just going to be dudes and then dudes in dresses for the rest of the life.
What is that movie with the chicks in the red that wear the white hats, the
Handmaid's Tale.
Tale.
the
Yeah,
Handmaid's Tale. I mean, that's pretty
No,
much
they
what it's
won't
going to
need 'em.
come. Yeah, that's
won't
pretty
need 'em.
much what it's going to come down to, though. Eventually, they're going to be like, oh well, we need somebody to carry some children. So hey,
They're
women,
just going to put them in bags.
or put them in back or whatever they're going to do. But it's all about
They
the
won't need women
patriarchy.
because
They
they've
talk
already
about
developed.
masculinity, but they're trying to promote more masculinity. They're trying to erase feminine.
They're erasing women, and here's the
Yeah.
thing: it's like I was saying, is they've already just this week they came out and said they were able to make fake embryos with stem cells. There won't be need for women if we can make fake embryos and put them in bags and grow them like they're freaking like children of the corn. They won't need women. It's just like I said, it's going to be men in dresses and then just men, and that's it. Like there's no women ever. Like we don't need them anymore.
And
They're
like
getting rid of them.
this whole tape with Biden and Pachinko, whatever his name is,
Poroshenko.
Poroshenko, this
Poroshenko.
should open people's eyes to understand
Yeah.
that this war in Ukraine, this has been planned since 2000 and what 15 14
14,
Yeah.
15.
So
it's been
Since
planned.
the revolution.
read there. You want to know why they had to continually keep in Trump's face and keeping preoccupied with local things and not occupied with international stuff? You want to know why they got so mad at him for trying to pull out of the Paris Accord? You want to know why they got so mad? This is why. The new goals and targets will become into effect January 1st, 2016, and will guide the
Oh,
decisions
gosh.
we take over the next 15 years. All of us will work to implement the agenda within our own countries and at the regional and global levels, taking into account different national realities, capacities, and levels of development, and respecting national policies and priorities. We will respect national policy space for sustained. They're not going to respect it for what it wants. They're going to respect it for the sake of sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth globally.
Mhm.
Question, Professor.
What, sir?
So they're going to respect the sovereignty of each state that's represented under this new agenda, but these states must conform to the wills and determinations of the United Nations Code of Conduct.
Right.
And if they conform, then the United Nations will then respect what they are conforming to.
Right.
But they're completely denying sovereignty of these nation states.
Yes, but they have it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's a good example. It's a cop saying stop resisting, and you're not resisting, and we're not also saying we're not arresting you, so stop resisting.
But
Right.
think about
Yeah.
think about this has just been up in our face. It's not like they're hiding it. Like we shouldn't really be surprised. They're not hiding it. You remember when Joe Biden signed over sovereignty to the WF and the WHO just in case there was some type of major pandemic in the States? He signed over our sovereignty
He had to.
already.
Mhm.
But the WHO can't really come in and do anything. So they use the United Nations to
Yep.
push their agenda. That's who they use,
Mhm.
which the WHO and the WF fall under the United Nations because
There
it
you
is a
go.
global
Agenda.
it's a global
Mhm.
agenda. But they can't, like I said, they can't use the WHO and WF. People are going to be like, who the hell are these guys?
It's
We'll just
strategic.
use the United Nations to push
Yeah,
it.
but the one of the things they call back to with the date, January 2016, like this was supposed to kick off, is because he wasn't supposed to win. That's why they were so mad
Right.
at Trump in the first
Right.
place. It was supposed to be Hillary was supposed to be in charge so they can continue on this agenda. Everything was supposed to be smooth sailing. We were going to get Obama, then we were going to get Hillary. That was the plan. That was what always was supposed to happen. There
Then
was
Biden.
no changing that. And then all of a sudden, bam,
Mhm.
Trump comes in and like kicks over their sandcastle.
It's hilarious.
I
We
love
also
it.
acknowledge the importance of the regional and sub-regional dimensions, regional economic integration and interconnectivity in sustainable development. Regional and sub-regional frameworks can facilitate the effective translation of sustainable development policies into concrete action at a national level. What they're really saying, sovereignty means that you get the sovereign right to implement 2030. We have an agenda. each nation is going to implement it in their own way, in their own region, in their own nation state, under the compliance of the UN. Now, when you have a crazy man like Trump stepping in, not allowing you to do this, the only thing you have left to do is to scramble and try and find some way to get rid of him. You want to know why the push is so much to get rid of him for 2024 by bringing up things like national security breaches with documents and leaving the other people alone. Look at the people they've left alone.
Pence.
Just based on what you heard on the recording, right? Look at who they left alone. They left Biden alone. They left Hillary alone. They left Pence alone. The three people who are most pivotal in not just international relations, but the two men are the most recent interactions with Ukraine, where all the money is going. If you're not aware yet that this is a big one, it's a Ponzi scheme, but more so it's a laundering scheme. But it's an implementation of 2030. They're trying to catch up from since 2016 when he got in there and put a wrench in their plan, delaying it. We were supposed to be at this point right now 4 years ago.
And you know, think about you know, a lot of the things that they're actually doing, and a lot of people aren't paying attention with this Agenda 2030. You know, a lot of us just go on with our lives. We watch our little YouTube videos, Netflix, whatever. Go to the movies, watch The Flash. People have to understand that starting next month, it's going to start. When they go into that CBDC where they control the money and all this digital currency, that's a form of controlling you. Oh, you don't want to abide? Guess what? We're going to click. We're going to shut it off. Oh, there's a new pandemic. You can only go 5 kilometers, 15 miles outside of your home. You go past that, click, you can't do it. So this has nothing to do with human rights. This has nothing to do with LGBTQ. They're just using them as a shiny object. This is about total control of the people in the world, not just the American people. So, and they've always said America would be one of the hardest countries to take over. And has nothing to do with where we're at in our land, because the threat's always going to come from the inside. It's the American people. The American people, you know what runs through our blood? Our forefathers and people that fought for this country. Their blood is in us. So they know that we're not going to stand by and take it. At least a lot of us. But people have to start paying attention to what's going on and look at it. CBDC is not a good thing. It is not a good thing. You go to Target, they know you went to Target. You get something on DoorDash, they know you went to DoorDash. Somebody cash apps you some money, they're going to know it. And they're going to be like, oh, we're going to take our taxes off the top of it. Oh, you didn't pay your taxes this year? We're just going to go into your bank account and take that out for you.
Yep.
Pay attention. Agenda 30 has already started.
You already saw that
they're just throwing shiny objects at us to keep us from focusing on what they're really doing. And it's going to come like a thief in the night on us. Watch. And you guys, a lot of people are going to be surprised. Guys like us, we're not going to be surprised. Or people like us, we're not going to be surprised because we know it's coming. All you can do is prepare yourself, because it's going to be hard to stop it unless Trump gets back in office. I'm just saying.
You were saying,
yeah. One of the things like we've already seen with this is them trying to pass that whole business with the $600. If you like get more than $600, the same thing. You see this recent Amazon issue with them just shutting off his home system because the black dude who owns the house said the N-word, or at least supposedly there, but he wasn't home. It was his doorbell apparently was racist.
Think about other things too. All right, do you guys have like Google Home or Siri or whatever those, Alexa?
Yeah.
All right, Siri. So I have one. How many people in the audience wasn't saying anything, and your little speaker started talking to you?
I've heard it.
You don't think they're listening to you? Let you say something anti-government. Just on here alone, we say what we want to say, but we still got to be careful. You know what I mean? Because next you know, FBI is knocking on our door and they're asking us questions. So be careful with your smart TVs, those little speakers in your house, your cell phone. There was a Navy SEAL that came out and said, even when the battery's out and your phone is off, they can still listen to you.
Here's a plan, guys, and I'm yet to build mine, but I have the plans. And when I do get it, and I see it that it's functioning, my buddy and I have, we're trying to create a little pocket, a Faraday cage pocket device that you can slip your phone in, and it shuts off all communication in or out of that device. So you can have your conversations by putting it in there, sealing it, putting it away. You will have no transference of info. Now, if we can nail this thing, I'd be happy. But you can make your own Faraday cage in your own home too, and that's you can look it up. It's easy enough to do. You just have to be willing to do it. And if you have to have conversations that you think are of a sensitive nature, you can go into that location. Look, Microsoft has multiple ones of them. Amazon has multiple ones of them. I've been in them before. Heck, I installed quite a few of them for Microsoft. And trust me, it works. You can go into this room and there is nothing you can get in, nothing you can get out, nothing. You lose time in there. Okay. So you can do it in your own home pretty easily, but you have to be willing to make sure that you put in the steps to get it done.
Well, most people should have a Faraday cage anyway.
Yeah, and one thing you can do that I've learned is people might say it's crazy, but if you're not using your phone at night or something, put that crap in the microwave. You know, that's what I do. I have multiple phones. I got 2 phones, 2 or 3, something like that. But I put my phones in a microwave. You know what I mean? Because I'm paranoid like that. I unplugged stuff. I turned off all on my smart TV. You can go to your settings. You'll be surprised when you go to your settings if you have a smart TV. And I posted a video about it. Go to your settings. Have you seen it, Marlon? Go to your settings, and you'll see all the settings on there where they can track what you're watching. They know what you're watching. They're listening to you, and it says it right there. Your mic is on.
That's why I don't watch TV.
Yeah, so you gotta protect yourself, and just I always say be defiant. Don't follow the rules.
See,
oh well,
bro. Here's the thing. Going back to what you said before about how America poses a slight speed bump to the plan is due to the people. I would venture to say and argue that I think the American people are slowly beginning to give up their rights because of safety and convenience.
I can see that.
It's always because of safety.
So,
and Marlon does a lot of religious. He does a religious based kind of podcast, and there's something in the Bible that says that when they promise safety and security, what will come? Sudden destruction. So whenever these people talk about safety and security, they don't care about your safety. They don't care about your security. They care about control. Period.
For those wondering about, now I'm not an inventor. I'm not inventing this thing. It already exists. I just want to make one for ourselves that we can put out, because I want to make sure it works the way I want it to work because of how crazy my mind works. There are other people out there that have them. This is one. And I would suggest not getting one from Amazon. Do not order from Amazon. If you can avoid it, just don't. But this is what I'm talking about. Stuff like this that you can just put in, slip your phone in. Okay. And what it does, it is like a, they say it's a force field. So electromagnetic field is what they put around the phone so that you can't, it reverses the polarity of the signal is what in essence it does. That's putting it very rudimentary. So signals are just revolving in itself and it can't come in and can't. It's like, no magnets when you put them and they fight each other. That's what the Faraday cage creates around your phone. Signal can't move. It just stuck. Okay. It just goes in a cycle and it can't leave and it can't come in. So that's what you want to have happen within the confines of your home. Now, what I would suggest is that there are multiple ways you can do this. You can either build a room, or you can have something that puts out a field around your entire home. That's a little bit more expensive, but it's doable. It's like putting your home through an EMP. It just shuts down everything from going out. So you pretty much become a black spot on the map. Okay, but it's worth it if there's something that you want to have a discussion with somebody about. You don't want nobody hearing it, like at all. So Just think something to think about, especially
like
what's
that
coming
idea.
up with all these people. They're trying to they keep track of everything you do, and
Mm.
with this like Mike said, that currency thing coming down the pike, they're
Mhm.
gonna keep track of everything that you
It's
got.
not
And
just
if
the
you really
currency
wanna go
too.
off grid, that's a great way to go off grid.
The push for electric vehicles is another
Mhm.
Oh,
reason,
yeah.
because like
Oh,
you
yeah.
you got to
Very
think
much
of
so
like
that.
how ridiculous that is. Self-driving and electric vehicles, right? So just let alone the EMP factor, right? If a nuke goes off in the atmosphere and it fries every electric circuit, all the cars are dead if they're electric. You're never driving again.
That's
Like
what they
it's
want.
blackout for the rest of it, right? So the other scary thing is the self-driving, where your car goes, "Hey, you've got a warrant going to the police station." What? Like that's gonna happen to somebody. They're gonna be
Yep.
driving their Tesla and it goes, "Hey, you got a warrant out for your arrest."
That's
for
right.
what? Child support. What? And you're going to jail.
Yep.
And it's taking you there, and it'll like show up and say, "Hey, I already let them know they're outside. They're gonna come pick you up. I'll open the door when they get there."
Oh yeah, I mean, just the technology.
Damn it,
that they
Knight Rider.
have. You know, they have this technology out there. You got to think about everybody likes home security, right? I have cameras in front of my house. I have a camera doorbell. You have to understand that those things make you feel safe, but you can bet your butt that they have access to them.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Guarantee they have it, because we like the security, so we don't think about that
closed
aspect.
circuit my ass.
Yeah, they can tap into it. They know how to tap into it.
Full
Just like
circuit.
Marlon was talking about a couple weeks ago about his computer when he was doing a podcast and it shut down and they wiped his remotely. They wiped his hard drive remotely.
Mhm.
So you know the technology's there. It just depends on how they're going to use it. And you can bet the bottom dollar. People like us, because they know people that consider themselves patriots. They track our social media posts. They know. You think they aren't going to be tapping into our cameras and all our stuff? Yes, they are. So, you know, if it gets down to the nitty gritty like that, I'm ripping all the cameras off my house. Every
Yeah,
single
yeah.
one of them.
What
Rip them
people
off.
should really think about is having a backup vehicle that is all mechanical. Period. Like
Yeah. The old school
Get back to
trucks.
stick. Get back to stick.
Well, they do.
nothing electronic in
Get the
it.
crank
It
front.
just
Get the
all
crank
mechanical.
Get a Flintstone car with your feet.
Or just get a horse.
No, you don't even have to. You got to get something like pre 60s, right? 70s, 60s
Yeah.
before they started putting electronics in.
Muscle car,
Get yourself a great muscle car. Like it doesn't even have to be like, an old
with
beater or
diesel.
something like that. You could get yourself a Charger and just get something that's completely mechanical. That's fine.
Well, they also have these EMP blockers for cars. You ever seen
Yes,
those?
they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's EMP blockers you can put on your battery, and you can cover your electronics in your car. So look into that, and you could put it inside your electric panel.
Mhm.
So there's a way you can hook it up to your electrical panel. So if it does go off, it protects your electronics. A lot of people don't know about that.
But that's
because
the reason
deep
for a
down.
Faraday cage too in your
Yeah.
house is like keeping all
It's
your
the same
important
thing.
electronic information inside
Mhm.
of your Faraday cage in case a EMP goes off.
Yeah.
Hey, they
There's-
come for your
there's,
phones. Throw it in the
Do you
microwave.
remember when Trump passed the replacement for I'm trying to not a name evades me for Clinton's international trade deal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The NAFTA.
NAFTA, right? And he replaced
Yeah.
it with what was the name of his plan again? I don't know why it's spacing me.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was so long ago.
The Mexico Canada trade.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so this was point 30 on their agenda. Listen carefully. States are strongly urged to refrain from promulgating and applying any unilateral economic, financial, or trade measures not in accordance with international law and the Charter of the United Nations that impede the full achievement of economic and social development, particularly in developing countries. If you have not read 21, 30, or 50, I would suggest, if you want to know where they're going, because they tell you, if you want to know where they're going, what each law that they try to pass is supposed to do, read. They tell you the reason that they hated the fact that he was passing that new international trade deal, and the reason they were mad that NAFTA got removed, was because NAFTA was buying into the whole global agenda for trade.
Right.
And the reason they got mad at him for shutting down sending out funds is because they want every country to be responsible to the UN. They can't
Makes a
have
lot of
that if
sense.
the United
Yeah.
States shuts off trade and becomes its own. Look, they've been saying for a long time that this was their agenda. We saw it because we read it. Like I've read 2030. The
Here
first
it
time I
is.
encountered 2030, I think it was in 2013, 2015, something like that.
Here you go.
And it seems so crazy to me, like, what? That's so dumb. And then 2050, and I read them all long before Trump was even a figment of people's imagination as a candidate. And when things start to happen, you can look and pretty much line by line lay out international policy and carbon copy it on top of Agenda 2021. Then the second year of Trump's presidency, and you saw what they were fighting and what the Democrats were trying to push, you can lay it right on top of 2030. Now that Biden's in power, if you lay all his policies on top of 2050, you're going to see something very, very freaky, that they're doing it at an exponentially fastest rate. Like they're not even wasting time anymore. They're trying to speed up time because what he did was put a really big wrench in their program. He set them back
Marlon.
10 years.
Do you think that with this push, they're gonna overplay their hand again, or do you think they're gonna be very careful with it?
If 2024 takes place and Trump wins, it'll delay them another 10 years or so.
He's going for the juggler, though.
But he only has one shot at this. He
Yep.
only has one shot. If he takes a shot and he does exactly what he's supposed to, which is no gloves, and I mean absolutely no gloves, and goes John Wick, we stand a chance. But if
That's
he
what
doesn't
I
go
want.
John Wick, that's it. We're done.
And you know, like Marlon said, this isn't something new. You know, presidents have got on stage and said this: we are creating a new world order. And everybody was just like, whatever that is, that's just a conspiracy. And here it is. This is it. They just call it agenda, whatever, agenda 2020, agenda 2030. But it's actually been their plan the whole time, a new world order. Who came out and said, George Soros came out and said that Trump he did something to slow down, just like Marlon said, to slow down the progress of this new world order.
Yeah. And Soros just gave his son all of his money recently, and he's supposed to be worse.
Yeah, he said he's getting rid of
By the
all
way,
conservatives.
so this is a video from a throwback from 2016 that I think some people may have forgotten, but is exactly what we're talking about. This is like their idea for 2030. You will own nothing and you'll be happy.
I remember seeing this.
Everything get delivered by a drone. That's great. Oh yeah, the US won't be a superpower. Right on schedule. A handful of countries will dominate. This sounds like BRICS to anybody? Yeah. Print new stuff. Oh yeah, and the fake meat.
Oh.
A billion people. Welcoming and integrating. Sounds familiar.
Not.
The alien life thing's kind of funny now. Yeah, Western values being tested to the breaking point. Our democracies. You see that wording there again?
Yeah.
Our democracies. Even in 2016, they were saying it.
We're not a democracy.
Yep.
Is it done? Oh, it's not done. Oh, it is okay.
No, it was done. But
That's insane. I mean, just reading it, they put the little nice music with it, but just
I know it
reading
sounds so happy.
Yeah, just reading it, you're like, are they insane? And this whole lie about where oil comes from, fossils, that's a lie. The earth creates oil and it has nothing to do with fossils. Don't believe that. I'm just saying.
Tomorrow, now remember, guys, we have a small room today, and I know exactly why. Trust me, I know why. YouTube saw the algorithm, mess with the algorithm just because of the poster. I understand you don't want people talking about this. I get it. But it's going to gain traction eventually. People going to know because you know what I'm going to do? Upload this to Rumble. And anyway, I'm going to put it on. It's going to go on Rumble. Tomorrow, we have our another episode. I'm not going to make a stationary thumbnail. It'll be a generic one because we want to talk about any and everything. Okay. Now it can't be super long because it's a weekend of Father's Day, and my daughter unfortunately made plans for me, or fortunately, whichever one you look at it.
Fortunately, I've heard it was Father's Day.
So I have an hour and a half at most that I can devote to you guys. I didn't plan it. It was the daughter's plan, and I can't tell her no. I mean, I could tell her no, but that'd be dumb. I'm not going to do that. So look for that. I'm going to make up the room and everything today. So if you are part of the Rumble channel, just look for it. Either way, even if you don't get a notification, put one on your phone as an alarm for 6:30 Eastern. Check Rumble. That way you can't miss the live. Okay? Because what we're going to be talking about is stuff that we touched on today. We might bring up some of that stuff too, including I'll bring up my conspiracy about the train bombing that happened in Ukraine and how I linked that to Biden and the Nord Stream thing, because a whole bunch of stuff that happened in that timeline that I had a whole video on it, and it might still be up on Rumble for all I know. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow. Next week, we don't have a layout yet of the land, but there's a lot of stuff going on, including the interview that Robert Kennedy did with Joe Rogan. Did you guys see that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was really
that was crazy. So I think we might be good to cover. I don't think we can do a reaction. I don't know if Joe's going to strike us for using his stuff or not, but I think we can discuss at least what Robert said.
And Marlon, that kind of ties into our theory, what we talked about last week about him and Trump running together, because they both have a mutual hate for the establishment.
Yeah. Yep.
So that'd be a good one.
So we're going to do that. We'll make sure we have everything ready for you guys tomorrow, regardless of whether you see the notification or not. Please know that you need to just go ahead and check in at 6:30 tomorrow. We'll be on 6:30 Eastern. We'll be on for sure. We'll be on.
Right.
Any last words, fellas?
Hey, just make sure you guys are sharing our podcast. It's cool. You know, we love the fact that you guys are here every week watching it, but it really helps out if you're actually out there helping us push it, because a lot of the pushing comes from just us. But if we have over 1,400 people out there also pushing it, it's more eyes are on, more people will see it, and it'll really help us out. Notice we don't ask for donations. We don't ask for anything. We're just here to push out information. That's what patriots do. We share information, whether you believe it or not. A lot of it's our opinion, but a lot of it is truth. So just do us that solid, share our page, hype us up with your friends and family, and let's get this pushed out.
Help us beat that algorithm.
One of the biggest conservative podcasts on YouTube, and we're going to need your help to do that.
Yep. And I was going to say, also don't forget with the Hooch is on at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time on Sunday at YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter live.
Yeah, you get to see my face again 4 days a week. And Marlon.
Right.
Or not.
Yeah, we'll watch some TikTok videos and some other things to talk about the culture war. It'll be fun.
There you go. Exactly. So you guys, please take care. Take care of all that you're doing. This is going to get pretty crazy in the next couple of weeks, and you got to keep your head. Oh, I forgot. I need to announce to you guys too. I also started a brand new channel. I kicked off my self-defense channel finally.
That's right.
And I need to bring it up so I can at least leave the link. If you have not gone to sub to it yet, or you just finding out about it, it is called MB Tactics. If you have not gone, please go and look it up. It's just kicked off. I only have like 60 plus followers on there so far, so 62. I'm grabbing the link now so you can go check it out. The age groups that I'm targeting right now are the younger generation up until about 17, 18, and then the older generation that have been the target of a lot of hate crime, violence, and all that stuff. So I'm going to try and teach you guys how to carry yourself in public and how to defend yourself in a certain type of situations, and just everyday stuff that most people can do if you're not Joe Rogan or you're not, like Israel Donajay. You're not those people that can do MMA kind of stuff, but you need to be able to protect yourself. I'll give you some things that you can do to get that going. Okay, so I just put it up. I put up a video yesterday for you guys to go check it out. Please go and do that. Give me a follow if it's something that you want to look at, and share it if you don't mind. But we'll be back tomorrow to talk about all the stuff that we can't on YouTube. Mr.
Hey,
Ray?
to the question about how to find us on Rumble, just go to our YouTube channel and click the little arrow, and it'll take you to our Rumble channel. I'm sorry, it'll take you to our Rumble channel. And don't forget to follow my food page. I'm cooking some dope stuff for you guys.
Oh man, I forgot to ask you about that. How do you cook alligator?
On a grill, or you can saute it.
I got some Cajun season. Yeah, saute it. I'd probably saute it then.
Saute it.
I got some alligator that I'm gonna cook in a minute.
Yeah,
that's why I asked.
I would
alligator
soak it
saute.
a little bit, clean it.
Mr. Lee?
So first and foremost, y'all, go if you have a dad and your husband's a father, go wish him a happy Father's Day. And in the meantime, like, share, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to join Rumble tomorrow, 6:30. We'll see you guys.
Peace.